Right, what we're going to do today is have a look at Pop! OS 20.04, the beta. I don't usually keep a sort of keen eye on Pop! OS, so it's quite interesting. The tiling is what's got me to want to check this out. So we're going to install it to disk because I don't really like playing around in VMs or off a USB. So we're just going to choose that. Bang. UK. Yep. That's all good. Right, so we're going to go for a clean install, and I'm just going to let it do whatever it does because I'm quite interested to see how it does its disks, because I know Pop! OS does a recovery partition. Right, so we're going to install it onto this subrent. Erase and install. I'm not going to bother encrypting. Right, so it's partitioning the drive. Does it tell you how it's partitioning the drives though? I wonder if we can open up disks or something. Right, so what have we got here? So we have, it gives us a swap of 4.3, our main partition of the rest of it, and then we've got another partition here which I'm going to imagine is the recovery partition. Yep, so as you can see there it says recovery, so you have a recovery partition as well. And then you've got your EFI, is that an EFI? Yep, got your EFI there for your boot, and then you get some free space on the other side of it. Okay, cool. Right, what we're going to do is let that do its business, and then when we reboot is when we do our user accounts, if I remember correctly, on Pop! OS. So just a minute. Right, so that's finished the main part of the installation, and it literally took, so when I stopped recording it said 49, it's now just struck 51, so it's taken like 2 or 3 minutes, so that's quite impressive. So we're going to go to restart device now, and then just sort of let it do its business. Hopefully the capture card doesn't have a meltdown. Sometimes in reboots it goes a bit crazy and then I have to fiddle around with it. Right, I can see it's coming on with the extension, so we'll have to do the mirror display and then we're good to go. Yep, so it's extended it. So, oh wait, we've got to do the this part as well. So I'm going to drag this open. Can I move this window? No, I can't move this window. That's a bit annoying. Okay, what I'm going to do is pause the video here, do the user account stuff and things like that, and then we'll be back. Otherwise you're just going to sort of see me diddling with the keyboard. Okay, scratch that. I just tried the keyboard shortcut Alt and Shift and directional to see if it would go to the next monitor, and it did. So we're going to be able to see this together now. So English UK, that's correct. So there's a slight second delay or so on the capture card to the mouse input. So if it looks a bit funny the way I'm moving the mouse, it's because of that. Oh, nice. So it lets you choose which sort of colour grade you want when you start, either dark or light. We'll go for dark. So let's go for next. Right, I think I've got Ethernet connected, so I'm going to skip this for now. We're going to turn off location. Next. So we've got no tap to click yet, so we'll have to enable that in the settings. Yep, that's right. We're going to skip this for now as well, and now we're going to do our user accounts. Yes, I know it's a weak password, and next. Okay, all done. Start using Pop! OS, so we will have to quickly set up the screen mirror. Oh, it's going to reboot once more. So all in, oh no, not a reboot, it just showed the manufacturer screen for a moment. Right, let me just set up a screen mirror. Right, and just give it a second and then it will sort of catch up with the capture card. There we go. Right, because I've not used Pop! OS in quite a little while, I just want to give myself a quick refresher of what it comes installed with, and then we're going to go straight to the tiling, which I think is this little icon here. So again, you have your sort of settings and stuff here, brightness and volume, wired, and they do have a few other things, don't they, on here. So if you was to go onto this bit and collapse it, you've got your battery life, high performance, and then you can jump into the settings there. We're going to turn Bluetooth off for now. Okay, and that's the tiling button. We'll have a look at that on its own. Again, that's your sort of notification area that you'd find on GNOME. Right, does it have any auto hot corners? Brilliant. I don't like hot corners, so the fact that it hasn't got it enabled out of sort of default is good. So on your favorites panel you have Firefox, Files, Terminal, and then the Pop Shop. So this is all your applications. It doesn't come installed with too much, which is quite nice actually. So we have Calculator, Calendar, Contacts, Files, which will be Nautilus, and then let's keep going. Firefox web browser. Geary is your email client. I'm not a massive fan of Geary, so I'd probably uninstall that. Get the full LibreOffice suite. PopShop that we will open and have a brief look at, because I think it now has Flatpak support as well. So let's keep moving. So that was that. We've got settings there, which is GNOME settings, and then we have terminal. Get it. Is that get it? I'm going to imagine it is. Yep, that's get it. And then let's just jump back into all applications, and then we have weather and then some GNOME utilities. So let's just have a quick look at the keyboard shortcuts, because I think they're different from normal GNOME keyboard shortcuts. So if we just go down, another plus it gets from me, down is down and not up is up. Not natural scrolling. I don't like natural scrolling. It feels a bit unnatural to me on a touchpad. So the fact that that's all done default as well, I quite like that too. Right, oh, it's got a little OS upgrade thing here as well. So it's failed to check for the upgrades, but that's probably because it did say we've got some updates to get. So if we go into installed, we'll go to update all, we'll let that do its updates. Okay. So let's just go onto the keyboard shortcuts, and I'll just have a quick look at what else they have here. So they have an appearance tab here, which you'll probably be able to change your, is it just your wallpaper? I thought you might have been able to go dark and light theme there as well. Okay, there's another tab here for appearance. There we go. So in here you can then also change from dark and light. That's quite a nice way of doing it. Right, tap to click is enabled by default, by the way. It just wasn't in the installation process. So keyboard shortcuts, I do believe they use super and directional keys for navigation of workspaces. Let's have a look. No, so control and super. Control super, up, down, not bad. Okay, I could probably get used to that. I'll probably change that if I was to use this as a daily driver though. And then what's move to one workspace, up or down? Move window to shift super down. Let's see how that feels. Okay, that's not too bad either. And it keeps the default move to one monitor to the left or right with super shift and directional, so that's all good. Okay, cool. Let's see how those updates are going. Okay, I think that's finished the updates, isn't it? I'm going to quickly install HTOP just so we can keep an eye on things. We do not have any terminal shortcuts, so let's just go back into GNOME settings. Tell you what, let's just type shortcuts here, and then we'll go into shortcuts, devices. Where are you? Oh, we're already on it. Okay, so let's plus that. Cool, and then let's set that to Control-Alt-T, and then our terminal will be on Control-Alt-T. Right, let's grab HTOP. And then what we're going to do is go straight into the tiling. We might have to go onto their web page to see what the sort of default controls are for that, because I'm not sure. And as you can see there's that 4 gig swap that it made. And I'm going to quickly jump into disks as well, just to sort of double check that it has kept that same partition scheme. Yes, you got your swap, your main partition, and then a recovery and your EFI. Right, tiling. So there's a little tab here to enable or disable. You can set the size of the gaps, which is cool. Launcher is super and backspace. What am I talking about? Slash. And then navigate windows is super and arrow keys. Let's view all. Okay, let's extend that a bit. Okay, so what have we got here? Directional keys, Vim shortcuts. I do apologise, let me just turn my phone off for a moment. That vibrating is going to get on my nerves. Okay, right, so we have move, resize and swap windows. I'll tell you what, should we just turn it on and then we'll give it all a go. So let's tile windows now. Right, so it's sent a floating window to the back, which I'm going to imagine is settings. So settings is floating. Okay, so navigate applications and windows. So super and let's try this one. Okay, so you get a little menu launcher there. So let's type in, say, PopShop, which will probably be floating as well. No, that is tiling. Okay, so that was a directional key. Let's get back to those. There we go. So let's close Nautilus for the moment, which also looked to be floating there for a moment. Is this floating? Because that doesn't look like it's in a sort of alignment. Yeah, this is floating as well. Okay, no, it's not. Huh. So you can also just drag and drop things like that, and it will rearrange things like that. I quite like that actually. Interesting. Okay. So move and resize, super and enter, enter adjust mode, directional keys, move window. So if we go to the right, okay, so that's with super that I'm doing that with. Interesting. Swap windows, control and directional keys. So if we was to swap a window, I'll tell you what, let's do it in this one here. Okay, I'm not getting much business out of that. Apply changes. Right, workspaces, so it still uses the same workspaces shortcut, so we could start again. So doesn't have the sort of super and enter for a terminal like you'd expect from sort of i3 tiling managers, but that's not to worry. So I'm going to open this keyboard shortcuts up again. I might have to move it to a next workspace. What was the workspace keyboard shortcut? It was this one? No, it was super and shift down. There we go. And then again, it spread that full because it's the only window on this workspace. So let's activate the launcher again. And then let's open up, say, Get It. Okay, let's move that down to the next workspace as well. Okay, so we're on Get It. We want to jump to that tab. Nice. Want to jump back to that one. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. So if we open up a terminal with the normal shortcuts, do you know what? I quite like this already, actually. So again, I really like this drag and dropping sort of way of doing things. Interesting. I wonder if there's split horizontal and vertical in here as well. So, oh, hold on, what have we got here? Execute a command in terminal, execute a command in SH, calculate an equation. Huh. Right, so you can also toggle floating modes. Let's try that. There we go. So we've now toggled floating mode for this window, or is it for all windows? For that window only. So if we do that again, there you go. Those both windows are tiling. Floating. This is really quite a good way of doing it actually. I like this. Right, so then if I wanted to untoggle floating, I'll do that again. Okay, no, this is really cool. I'm liking it already. Right, so let's see what HTOP is saying. So we're at about 1.28 gigabytes of RAM. Nice. I'm going to install GNOME Tweaks. Is it GNOME Tweaks now or GNOME Tweaks Utility? Let's have a look. GNOME Tweaks. Okay, I just want to sort of have a look at their themes. I think it's... do they have a slim theme? Because they're quite large title bars for the windows. There it is. It took a while to show up. There we go. Tweaks is floating by the looks of it. Although it's done something a bit weird there. So if I was to do that... Yeah, Tweaks is a funny one. It's getting a bit of overlapping there. Right, anyway. Let's go on to appearance. So the theme is obviously pop. There's nothing in the applications there, so that's just left like that. The shell is not got the extension added. Okay, right, what I'm going to do is just install some themes that I use and also get the title bars to have the minimize and maximize. And then we're going to sort of leave it there, but I'm really quite enjoying this. I'm going to spend a bit more time on this one, and I will do a sort of an in-depth review when it gets its final release. So let's install a couple of things before we reboot. So we want to get arc theme. I'm just going to grab mock icon theme while we're still here. I'm going to grab Tmux. What else are we going to want to use on this while we have it? Steam we're going to want. What have we got installed so far? So I'll tell you what, we're just going to grab those packages for now. And we're going to remove Geary actually and add Evolution and Evolution EWS. Is it Geary? No, is it spelt on here? Geary. Right, we're going to do that. Let that finish. Reboot. See how much RAM we're using at boot. So we've got to grab 550 megabytes of additional. So the amount of packages we're getting is 94 meg, and it's going to take 550 of additional disk space. So we're going to jump back into a different workspace now. And I want to see what other wallpapers it comes with quickly. So let's go on to change background. Quite like the colours here. The colour theming is really quite cool. I was never a massive fan of the robot thing. Oh, this is nice looking. Let's have a look at this one. Oh, wrong one. So that's already done that, hasn't it? I always forget that GNOME does that now. Nice, I quite like that actually. Interesting. Okay, how are we going? So that's all done. What we're going to do is open up Steam, let it do its update, and then we'll do a reboot there. There you go. So it's even tried to tile the Steam update window there. That's quite cool. Right, let's go back into a different workspace now and close some of these windows. Oh, we wanted to check Flatpak as well, didn't we? So let's just type in Flatpak for a minute. So Flatpak is installed, so I wonder if we was to type in something like Kdenlive in here. Oh, we're not getting any. Right, so the pop shop's gone a bit crazy, so if we force quit that and open it again. Right, and let's type in, and let's close this window here. So I wonder if Super Shift and Q will close that window. No. So what's close a window on here? Let's get these back open. So window shortcuts, close a window, it's just Super and Q. Okay, so let's go back up. So that's not too bad. There we go. Do you know what? I'm enjoying this a lot more than what I thought I was going to. Okay, so what we want to do is to see, let's try Kdenlive. I'm going to imagine that's a Flatpak. It is. So it'll tell you what source it is there. And then you can also change the source to an Ubuntu deb as well. No, I really like the way they do that. That's actually quite cool. Right, we're going to let that finish it. We're not going to sign in or anything. We're going to do a reboot and get a RAM reading. But for a first impressions, this is actually really quite impressive, especially for a beta. Right, let's do a reboot and then we can see how quickly it starts up. There's nothing else installed on this disk as you saw at the beginning, so it should just go straight to. Right, here we go. Hopefully the capture card is still up and running, it seems to be. Right, so it doesn't mirror the login screen unfortunately, but as soon as we get to the desktop it should. So that started up all very nice and fast as well. And does it remember that you had the tile set up? It does indeed. And we are using 1.3 gig. That's quite common though with Pop. I've noticed it always sort of uses generally around that amount, no matter sort of what you really install. Unless you go crazy, obviously, and install loads of stuff. But no, very impressive actually. It's kind of changed my opinion a little bit on Pop. I'll spend a bit more time with it and we'll see how we go. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please subscribe and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.